From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big night of evenings LALATE as finally we got the two items that get forced stimulus to the finish line. No bipartisan support and no further growth of the economy in the rebounding mode than we anticipated. New economic data released this morning shows that the economy is rebounding, but not at a faster growth than originally anticipated. This means that when the bill gets to the Senate by reconciliation for your forced stimulus checks, those monthly stimulus checks, the economy will not be rebounded. Incredible, great news. I'll have all the big financial news breaking today across the board that signals that monthly stimulus checks are coming. Then I'll be cutting over to the Republican counterproposal. It came in even lower than I had been reporting since last Sunday, signaling no bipartisan support is ever going to happen. In fact, the president's not even willing to negotiate against their counterproposal. Of all those details as well. Meantime, other big great news across the board about SSI reform that is coming in September. New data out about student loan debt forgiveness, just breaking today. I'll have that as well. Meantime, big developments about business grants and other things across the board you've been asking for in the questions answered in this recording. It's a big night, and I have a lot to cover, and I'm so excited for you to join me as we approach our one-year anniversary. This is Evenings LALATE. Everybody, hope you are beautiful and safe as we go into a big evenings of Evenings LALATE. I'm so excited you to join me as this channel approaches its one-year anniversary. What a run it's been, and we're far from over, and we're going to have an incredible second year. I'm so glad you joined me. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also like this video, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member to the most comprehensive financial news channel there is. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Let's get to the breaking news. You know, and I know that forced stimulus checks, those monthly stimulus checks that the Senate Democrats and the House Democrats have vowed to give you would be impacted by two potential adversaries. One, a rebound in this economy faster than anyone anticipated that could cause people to get cold feet before they get the bill. And second, a bipartisan effort from the president to get the bill done without reconciliation process. Well, the great news to start this evening is that no such event is going to be occurring. Both two items came in today, and both two items signaled no. First, there's no stronger economic growth of this economy than originally anticipated, meaning the economy is not going to rebound before they get the forced stimulus checks to a vote. Great news. Second, we also learned that bipartisan support for the forced stimulus package is absolutely not going to happen. In fact, there's less likelihood than ever before. And I'll have all those breaking details as new data came out today and new counterproposals. How are you? I'm so excited. Let's get to the breaking development details. Forced stimulus checks is the single biggest payout you'll ever see for a single individual of this channel. The concept is to give you a stimulus check when the president's forced stimulus package lands in the House. To make clear what forced stimulus package is and what the forced stimulus check is, let me explain. It's the infrastructure bill or the Recovery Act or the American Jobs Plan. The president has a couple names for it. And he's not going to write the bill. The Speaker of the House is going to. And what first thing she's going to do is write a recon bill, agreeing to do a recon. It's just a procedural bill. It has no substance in it. House, Senate, President sign it. Then she goes back and does the substantive bill. And it's at that point that either the House members or the senators put those monthly stimulus checks in there. And let's compare the amounts of money at issue and the routing times if they were done by a House member or senators. Both can do it together or they can do it separately, and both are very good. First, those House members want to give you a stimulus check under the forced stimulus package for the remainder of this pandemic plus 1 year. So the pandemic has 6 more months to it. You would see 18 checks, 18 months of checks. The senators want to give you stimulus checks from now to December. Then who are the players at issue? This is very important breaking developing news today, as we're now seeing that Senate Democrats are introducing bill after bill after bill in the last few days. These are movers and shakers who are likely to slide other provisions into a recon for their own other legislative items they want to do besides stimulus checks. So they want a recon as much as you do. And then how much is the monthly check? Boy, this is just wonderful. House members want to pay you $1,000 per month over that duration, which is about 18 months. And senators, the amount is unknown, but word on the street is the senators want to pay you this. They want to pay you anywhere from $2,000 a month to $1,400 a month. Over 6 months is $12,000 or $8,400. What you need to understand, and very important to grasp, is that the President of the United States is doing a different universe than you may have saw in 2020. The President in September, in the fifth stimulus package, has already announced that he's going to do a child tax credit for 5 more years on top of the existing year. So the President himself is ready to pay $3,600 times 6 years for children 7 years or younger, upwards of $24,000. So you may have thought, $8,000 for a stimulus check sounds like a lot, LA. Do you think it's going to happen from this president? Absolutely. He wants to spend $24,000 over the next 5 years for 17-year-olds. He'll certainly spend $8,000 on you. Now, here is what's happening today. 2 events. One, first, lack of bipartisan support. The counterproposal came in, and I have it for you right now. Also, new economic data. Here's what you need to know. Viewers always ask me, do I think this is going to happen? Absolutely. When would it happen? The vote has to happen in July. Speaker Pelosi and Leader Schumer both say that the vote will happen around July 4th. Now, you want the vote absolutely a little bit earlier because they go on vacation on July 4th approximately, and then they're gone to September. You don't want this to push up on the deadline. When's the first stimulus check? July. What's the check for? July. How would we get the checks? I think, and this is just my opinion, I don't think it's definite, I just think it's likely that they would follow the Warren-Harris plan from 2020 and send you a debit card and then refund that debit card every month. That's what Harris and Warren want to do. It's cheaper on the Treasury than sending out payments every month by paper and other means. It's a simple process. Who gets this? If you make less than $75,000, it's you. If you got a third stimulus check, it's you. $150,000 or less, it's you. Adult dependents, yes. Child dependents, yes. Household of 4 or less, yes. SSI or SSDI, yes. So it's you. It's the biggest single payout you've ever seen on this channel. Here's the great news. 1 after 2 big great news came out today, and they all signal that we're going to get this to the finish line. The first one was the unemployment numbers. What you and I have learned as a family, and I've taught you over the last few weeks, is that the economy is growing. And we see it growing faster than initially anticipated. But is it accelerating even faster in the month of April now that could cause this economy fully rebounded in 4 months by July? Today we learned no. Today we learned no, we are good and safe with that. Why? A week ago, the new jobless claims dropped 250,000 in 1 week, causing us to worry if this was going to be another 250,000 drop today. And it wasn't. It came in nearly the same. So it flattened out, basically the same growth rate, not a faster growth rate. We did not speed up on our growth rate. The new unemployment claims released before sunrise Thursday morning were the following. 547,000 new jobless claims, the previous week 576. So it shows we are not speeding up in economic recovery. We're at the same level. Great news for purposes of stimulus checks. And then the unemployment continuing claims, stayed at 17.4. The previous week was 16.9. This is a great number for purposes of stimulus. It's not a great number for people who are unemployed, but it's a great number for stimulus. 17 million Americans unemployed, 8 million jobs missing, stimulus checks. It's a no-brainer. It's absolutely a no-brainer. You and I know what the concern was, that number would shrink very quicker, faster in its shrinkage than anyone would anticipate before they got the bill to a vote in July, and then suddenly they make it cold feet and say, oh, we're not going to do it. Don't have to worry anymore. It's stabilizing the growth rate. We are in recovery, but we're not speeding up in our economic recovery. That was the first great news for purposes of stimulus checks today. What's the second one? Yes, no bipartisan support. Now, this should not come to surprise the viewers of this channel, and certainly should not come to the surprise of the president either. I had told you over the last few weeks what the Republicans' counterproposal was. Today it came in formally, and it actually was less. The Republicans had said they're not going to spend $2 trillion, that they're going to remove climate from the president's proposal, and they'll do 600 to 800 billion. Well, guess what happened today? I actually have the counterproposal, and this is something the president's never going to do. It's not even 600 billion. It's less than that. And of course, there's no climate in there. So what did they come in at? They came in at 568. Here is the actual counterproposal. Now, the summary, just to cut to the chase, very simple, is this is not going to be done. The president's not going to do it. It's going to go by reconciliation. Your forced stimulus is going to go by reconciliation. Here is why I'm really happy in a strange way about this counteroffer. It's such a really low ball, out of apples to oranges counteroffer to the president, that at this point, this is why the president said, I'm not even going to look at this. Come back with something normal. They're not. They've said for 5 weeks they're not going to come up higher. They refused to give $1 on climate. Today, the president had a climate conference. Tomorrow, he has another climate conference. They're not giving $1 on climate. Second, they're not even giving the full amount for infrastructure. Away we go. Away we go to forced stimulus by reconciliation. The tow truck is getting on the highway, folks, and away it goes. Remember, step one for the tow truck is to start a recon by a two-step process. Let's go over that again. Step one, Nancy sends a bill to her subcommittees to do a recon. It's nothing substantive, it's only procedural. Do you agree to do a recon? Vote yes. To the Senate, do you agree to do a recon? Vote yes. Off to the White House, sign it. Then time back to do a tow truck. And the tow truck then picks up the tow hitch. The tow truck at this point has passed over the finish line. It's done step one. Now it's time to add the substance. And that's the substantive bill. And at that point, the House members may add in the monthly stimulus checks. There's 100 plus House members that want those monthly stimulus checks. They've been very adamant about it. And Senate and House member Omar, who I detailed early this week and last weekend, is now a very close confidant of the Speaker, Pelosi, and she has made very vocal she's going to the mat for those monthly stimulus checks. Now, even if the House members don't put it in there, it's during the vote-a-rama that the senators will put it in there. And those senators are waiting with bated breath for this bill to land by recon because they have a lot of other legislative items or priorities they want to add to the forced stimulus package. Whether it is raising minimum wage or student loan debt forgiveness or other items, they've been waiting because it's easier for them to pass things during recon than a standalone bill. And with that incredible detail that there's no bipartisanship and that there is no economic recovery faster or speeding up than thought before, it's happening. It's happening. Coming up later in this recording, I'm going to go over what's happening in September in fifth stimulus, which is called the America Family Plan. It's the SSI reform. It is singularly the best and most exciting thing that SSI recipients, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans, has seen for coverage of this channel since the forced stimulus and multiple stimulus checks. Remember, you get those as well. But this is the most exciting things you've seen for a while. Meantime, let me show you a new, also coming up in this video is a new video from the White House talking about the need to do forced stimulus. Let's cut back then to student loan debt forgiveness. Elizabeth Warren has done a two-prong approach for student loan debt forgiveness. And her two-prong approach is that executive order push and that bill push. Let me explain. Elizabeth Warren has introduced a bill to the Senate to have student loan debt forgiveness, but she says we don't need to do it by bill. The president could do it by executive order. The president ordered his education secretary 2 weeks ago to prepare that deal memo detailing whether a president can forgive student loan debt by executive order. Miguel Cardona. Well, it's almost a week late now. Has he forgotten the forgiveness letter? I don't know what's going on. Leader Schumer and Elizabeth Warren must be beside themselves. I'm just shocked. But a new report released today by CNBC asked congressional leaders what they think about the student loan debt forgiveness. The net result of this article is you want executive order because there's not a lot of enormous support among congressional leaders when asked in this story. Oh, yeah. So the story sought 500 members of Congress to respond to the question whether they would support $50,000 of student loan debt. 66 of 500 responded. I guess the other 400 were busy. Of them, this is what they said. 5 members are still paying off their student loans, so they would like it. 27 members reported taking out student loans at some time. So that's interesting. 27 of 66 members actually had student loans. 6 Democrats responded saying they would support the student loan forgiveness at a lower amount, $10,000, not $50,000. Those are 6 Democrats. That's ironically the amount the president wanted to do, $10,000. 36 Democrats that are both House and Senate said that they would support exactly what Leader Schumer and Elizabeth Warren wants. So that's a pretty good number. 37 of 66 that responded supported. 1 said they would not support a fixed amount. It would have to be tied to something different. 9 said they would not respond. They would not state their opinion publicly. Gotta love that. And then 10, who are all members of Congress, both Republicans and Democrats, said they don't support a specific rate. So you see a recurring theme where some people say, I don't want to do a specific number. I'll do something tied to something. Ooh, interesting. But you want to push Elizabeth Warren. Now, if you remember this channel, you saw that new letter from Elizabeth Warren to Leo Cooperman as one of the PDFs. It was detailed over the last 2 days. It will be detailed again in today's drop for members of PDFs. On page 2 of the PDF is an email address for in this publicly published letter from Warren to Cooperman, asking his input on a conference next week. He said no, but it's important for a couple reasons. One, the email address shows you a direct contact to reach out to Warren's staff if you have an opinion about SSI. You have an opinion about student loan debt forgiveness. You have an opinion about senior reform. You have an opinion about wealth tax. It's incredible. The other thing that's great about this letter is that next week there will be a wealth tax conference. Elizabeth Warren, during her time on the campaign trail for president, proposed $200 a month for a COVID-only add-on for beneficiaries. Well, when asked during her campaign stops, what would she pay for that? She said it with a wealth tax. That wealth tax bill was introduced in January. You have the PDF for that as well. So guess what? Next week, she's pushing that wealth tax bill to a vote by having a congressional hearing about it. Very exciting. But what's even more exciting is the now enormous House and Senate member support for SSDI reform to come in the 5th stimulus package. I have all that exciting details coming up later in this recording, and a lot of other new surprises and a breaking development out of Texas that your head is going to spin over. Oh boy, a lot of big things coming up, and we're far from over. Stay with me as Evenings LA continues right after this commercial break. But first, here's a little bit about the community page on help on getting rent, utilities, food, and internet. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. They're Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals. Reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. and then afternoons LA Late at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA Late. And the excitement continues right after this show with LA Late Night, coming up in 2 hours from now at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's our irreverent broadcast with Sirloin and Javita Late. It's not informational. It's humor only. And if you miss it, you need to find it with your AirTag. So circle around about one more time and come with me with a range of colors tonight. I look forward to seeing you tonight on LA Late Night. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Wow. 394,000 subscribers. We're just short of 400,000. Our 1-year anniversary is on April 25th. So thank you for becoming part of this family. If you've not subscribed, please do. And also like this video. Wow. You know, when this channel was this small with a few hundred subscribers, I made a video last summer that talked about SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits recipients. No one was talking about them ever, about stimulus. That video went viral, went to 3 million views. Imagine for a channel that's brand new, has a few hundred subscribers. Well, I stayed on topic. I've stayed on subject, looking and waiting, following everything that Warren has said. And then finally, after all this time, we finally got the big, great news. The big, great news came in that comprehensive series of letter that was released this week that absolutely detailed how they're going to do it. Democrats in this massive letter to the president have now called for SSI reform in September's bill, the fifth stimulus. The reform that they are proposing, which I'm going to go over in detail slowly, let me give you the overview, is a raising of your benefits, then an increase of your asset limits, a new inflationary benchmark, removing the income exclusion, and then the marriage penalty. It's going to happen. The president is spending $6 trillion between January and September, and he's going to continue to do reconciliation. The excitement heated up as a letter was sent to the president this week, signed over and over by all the congressional leaders you have heard who have championed for multiple stimulus checks. Now, in addition to champion for multiple stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package, they're champion for reform of SSI in the fifth stimulus package. Yes, they have everyone's wishes in their hearts, and they're staying on point day after day. Let me go over the details. How would this work? First, everyone's benefits would be raised to a new amount, and that would be your new amount. The new amount would be a substantial raise from where you are now. You wouldn't go lower ever again. You would be raised up to this incredible new amount, and that's your new amount. Then, what would happen every December? Every December, your benefits are reassessed, but they're based upon currently COLA, which doesn't move. Eggs, milk, gas goes up every year. COLA doesn't. So your benefits stay exactly the same sometimes, or goes up 12 cents. Not anymore. They propose your benefits to be tied to inflation, which generally in this economy goes up 1 to 4% per year. That means you can absolutely always anticipate your benefits would go up 1 to 4% per year. Remember, once they raise you up, you're never going to go back down. You're never going to be back down at the current level. You'll always be at this new high level. But each year, you could go up about 1 to 4% per year based upon inflation. Then they want to fix other items. First, they want to get rid of that assets held on hand, a provision, and start with a massive new number. There's a provision that says you can't keep a certain amount of cash on hand. They want to get rid of that and start with a very new high number. The other one that's incredibly great news is that if you've ever wanted to work, you can't work and make over a certain amount of money without fear of falling off of benefits. They're going to get rid of that also, they say, and start with a new enormously high number, somewhere upwards of about $1,000 a month or $12,000 a year, that you can work and still stay on benefits and get that income. Incredible. And finally, getting rid of the marriage penalty. So when, where, and how would this work? The increase of your benefits, the new benchmark, all this would come up under the fifth stimulus in September. Remember, it's going to go by recon, so it's going to be about 2 months. So September, October, November, maybe October, you would not see the change to your benefits until about the end of this year. And then going forward, you would be on this incredible new benefits. Now, remember, this is more benefits. This is lifetime. This is a new benchmark. This is a total revamping of the system. And this is not the $2,400 of SSI and SSDI. That was a COVID-only situation. That could still happen, but this is separate and apart from that. This is the benchmark and the new raising your benefits of substantial amount. Just incredible, great news. Meantime, the president debuted a new video today talking about the need to pass for stimulus, as if we need to see more of these videos. It's about the same message. We need infrastructure fix. Let's fix infrastructure. Let's listen in and hear what the message was.
I said infrastructure is a foundation. Housing is one of the most important foundations that any family or any person has. 11 million or so people in this country are paying more than 50% of all of their income towards rent. That is not affordable. Affordable means I can live decently and do all the other things that are necessary for me to have a decent life. When COVID first entered our lives, the one thing they said to people was stay home. So if you didn't have a home, you had a problem. Our children were learning virtually. So if they didn't have high-speed internet or broadband, they could not learn. What we have created is a generation of young people who will be forever behind if we don't provide them the tools necessary to get ahead. How we care for each other, that is a caring infrastructure. We take care of our seniors and we take care of our children. That is what we do every day. Those foundations make us who we are. This is still America. This is still the country that leads all other nations. If we don't take the bold steps now, when we have the resources and the opportunity and the will, we will never be the country we believe we are. If you'd like to learn more about the American Jobs Plan, please go to whitehouse.gov/American Jobs Plan.
And there you go. A really great video. I really like her a lot. I can't stand the editor of that video. If you heard that clicking sound, that was not me. That they had underneath the LA graphic someone typing the words. So you may have had difficulty hearing her because the music was too loud, their music, and then they had someone typing. Just let her talk. She's quite charming, and she really had an incredible message, and it was muddled like blue underneath typing and Real Housewives of Orange County music. And someone didn't pay the light bulb in the corner again. So that was the latest video from the White House. Yeah. I don't think the Republicans watched that video. So there we are. Now, the other surprising developing detail that came in today, and I got to touch on this because this is really strange, is a new report out of scientists out of Texas A&M's Global Health Complex says that they have identified a new COVID variant that they have identified as BV-1 that is resistant to the antibodies. Excuse me? Yeah, so I will stay on top of that story over the next few weeks because I don't know where that variant is going and I don't want it coming here. It's really surprising. Meantime, the reason why stock market was sort of volatile today was a reaction to something Elizabeth Warren, Cory Booker, and Sheldon Whitehouse, along with Bernie Sanders, have done. They introduced several weeks ago, but I didn't really cover it at that time, a capital gains on wealthy estates modification to the tax code. And for some reason, that old introduction that they went under fourth stimulus got a lot of headwind again today on a Thursday. Not particularly clear. So let me explain what they want to do. The bill, which they introduced to the Senate, is called the STEP Act, and it would get rid of the so-called STEP Act basis. The plan tries to concentrate the tax among the wealthy estate. So someone inherited $6 million in stock, let's say $6 million in Tesla stock, that their mother bought for $4 million. The tax would apply to $1 million of that $2 million gain for the tax exclusion. The U.S. and so they're trying to modify the step-up basis. A little complicated, but Wall Street doesn't like it. And not to say that's going to get into forced stimulus. The president has not been clear, and I've certainly covered, what taxes he wants to raise into forced stimulus. Today, one of the things I didn't mention early in this video is what would the what would the Republicans use to pay for stimulus? They said they would not raise taxes, and they would basically pass it through user fees for electric vehicles and things like that. Yesterday, I detailed and unveiled the beautiful, beautiful new Cadillac that is all electric. And Cadillac is among the major auto manufacturers that's going to be purely electric by 2030. So the Republicans' idea is to basically pass the taxes off to electrical vehicles. If we're going to finance things like EV charging stations across the country, then put it on the electrical vehicle sales over the next few years. Interesting. It's just not going to happen because the president's not going to go that path. He's going by recon. So with that, I hope you have enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Also happening across the board is the EIDL grant. The remainder of the $10,000 EIDL grant is being paid. Watch for that email. If you did respond to that email and have not in February and have not heard back, you're stuck in a vortex. They know about the vortex. Then the $5,000 EIDL grant has not yet gone live. No updates from SBA. The shuttered venue grant, which is not just for venues, at sba.gov has been sidelined because of their computer problems. I don't know if it's up yet today. I'll check again later. Then the PPP grant has been extended by executive order. And then finally, the business grant to start a new business did not happen in the third stimulus. But the rent, utilities, food, internet, mortgage assistance from second stimulus has been slow coming to some states like Texas. If you reach out to a volunteer, you may have to look to other companies like a United Way or Salvation Army if your state is not one carrying second stimulus money. The great news is that by May, all the third stimulus money for that will be landed as well. I hope you had a beautiful day, and I can't wait to see you. Sirloin says hello, and Javita Late says hello. They will be joining me in 2 hours from now as LA Late Night heats up. It's going to be a big broadcast, so make sure you join me. In the meantime, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Casino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA.